coding. So that's how to instruct computers. Once you sense a problem in an area, probably you are selling this or selling that, and you feel you need computer to help you do better. And you know how to code.
Yeah.
You don't even need to give it to someone. You sit down on your own.
So what are these things that you can use coding for? I mean, we understand it goes a long way. Give us ideas.
You can use coding to create apps, games, softwares, and which software is the most popular among all of these.
Okay.
Because industries use them a lot.
Okay.
In fact, there's hardly no industry you get to now that you won't find one software. You see people using project.
Of course.
Something.
Of course.
So that somebody sat down and thought of it. Gone are those days when we have to carry our camera everywhere like this. Now somebody sat down and felt, I can design a camera that'll be flying
like a drone.
Like a drone.
Yeah.
And somebody put that together.
And
many of us fell in love with it. We even learned how to operate it. But somebody seated somewhere has done that and is cashing.
You know, it's about creation. Recently, we had some to bring you but now someone actually sat and thought about it. Like, now we have a selfie, they will have a remote. Then I could just say, I'm taking my pictures. Those are coding, right? Yes. Now I need you to explain the coding. I've heard IT, I've heard the ICT. Can you give us, what are the differences between this?
Talking about coding, like, it's the language of computer.
Okay.
Of computer, whether ICT or whatever, they use computer.
Okay.
One way or the other.
That is the coding.
So coding itself is that language. Is that it's what helps you to write your software.
Okay.
What helps you to put together your game.
Okay.
You know, and begin to create solutions. So that is what.
Then the ICT itself.
ICT, information and communication technology. These are just aspects of technology. But at the base is coding.
It's coding.
Yeah, our phone, the operation is coding.
It's coding.
Well, my bank app, my Instagram app, my Facebook.
Those are coding.
It's coding that powers them.
Yeah. It's fine. Okay, so now ICT is a requirement now. In fact, it is a mandatory for fresh graduates. So what would be your advice to them? I mean, the fresh graduate right now will feel like it is not an option. Maybe they want to look the other way. What do you have to say to them?
Well, what I'll tell them is that they should stop consuming.
Don't be a consumer, of technology.
Make the right choice, because I see a lot of young graduates, teenagers who prefer watching videos, watching skits. It's good, really.
Okay.
It's good. But then don't spend too much time on those. You too can create something.
Wow.
Somebody created those, and you are watching, they are getting views, they are making money. So what are you also doing? In what way are you also creating solutions
to the problem?
Flow to you. And I always say this, Amma, that the future of work has changed.
To explain this.
It has changed, really, because I've seen things in my few years, doing this.
Okay.
Recently, I came across a particular application, Bondex.
Okay.
Bondex application, and I saw some job offers there that pays in dollars. You'll be here in Nigeria, you'll be working for a company in Japan, in China, in USA, just because of these IT skills that you have, coding skills.
Wow.
And what makes it beautiful is that you don't need to, unlike the engineers.
Okay.
For you to deliver your service, you have to go to the place of your clients. You need to visit them. But I've offered services to people that I've not even seen like this.
In your life,
me,
and you've been transacting business with them.
Not met, like, physically. It's only on phone. They saw everything I could offer, and I offer my service. They pay, and the business has been going on.
Do you think everybody should have an idea of the coding world, the tech world? Do you think it should be a must for everybody?
Yes, it should be a must.
Even a layman?
It should be a must. It should be a must. Reason is, this is now the new language.
Wow.
Imagine you cannot communicate, because we are gradually getting to the contactless era, like somebody said, where you'll be seated and all you have to interact with are computers.
Gadgets all around you.
Even talk. You cannot communicate with these things. They are looking at you and you're looking at them. So it becomes boring.
It becomes boring.
So it doesn't matter. Even the basics you can learn. Not to, apply for a job.
Okay.
And, render that service. Just for your own knowledge, for you to know how it works. If somebody is bringing something to you, you should know how it works.
Yes, fair enough.
You should know how it works. So I advise that. And even for parents, they should not put it
I was going to ask about that.
on their children. Because as a parent, if your child knows so much and you don't know anything, and he or she has rated a solution,
okay,
and she wants to express herself, and like, this thing, and you will look, okay. Within her, she will say, even mommy does not even understand what I'm doing.
That could be a turn off somewhere.
So she would prefer going out there to meet her counterparts who understand, the language she's speaking. But if you know at least a little, she'll be able to tell you, okay, let me show you this, that, and you will understand. You also flow along.
Yes.
But in a situation whereby you don't even know anything.
Yes.
Imagine you send your child to go and learn maybe Ukrainian language, for example.
Okay.
And the child comes home and she wants to express herself and she's saying something you don't even know.
Yeah.
But it will be better if you also have...
You can speak the same language. Can flow together.
She will be happy. In fact, you can even guide her
on what to do. No, charity begins at home, they say. So yeah, it is not a bad idea. So let me bring this as you step up to go now. What are you doing in advancing tech in schools yourself from your own end?
Okay. In like about 10 years now, I've been going around because I know it doesn't matter how cheap or how accessible or how affordable. Some people will still have excuses like,
okay,
get it. So in my own way, I've gone to churches, I've gone to even schools,
okay,
to tell people about the importance, and I've even offered free trainings severally.
Okay.
Although I stopped at the point.
What happened there?
The reason why I stopped is I later realized that what people don't pay for, they don't value. But just for me not to hurt my conscience, I offer this service now in a very, very affordable, at a very, very affordable cost.
Okay.
That you cannot even say you cannot afford, except you are not serious.
You are not interested.
You're not interested.
That's not used like they're not serious. Maybe not just interested.
Okay, not interested. So I've been going around, talking to people, especially churches.
Okay.
Talking to them, telling them the importance and offering free trainings to the level I can.
Okay.
So, and if you are really, really interested, you will now look for me. But then I won't give it to you all free in such a way that you now abandon it.
I understand you. It has been a beautiful time with Mr. Victor Oladipo, the coding expert, who is saying coding is the new literacy. You should be able to speak the language of coding. Mr. Victor Oladipo, our coding expert, can you please drop your number for viewers who are interested in coming up to you for one thing or the other in the world of tech?
Okay, my phone number 070 35 07 2682. I call it again 070 35 07 2682. That's also my WhatsApp number. I'm always available on WhatsApp.
Okay, so yes, do the needful. You can reach out to Mr. Victor and he is going to be at your beck and your call. It has been a beautiful time having you, Mr. Victor. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for the enlightenment. And I hope when you start creating not just the, what did you call them? The ones who are taking up, you talk about coding now, like these people are the eaters of the coding, the consumers. Yeah. When you have many creators, I hope when it becomes the big name, I hope we'll call you here. You're still going to be available for us. Okay, Spring Delight is not over yet. We are going to take you through the world of my work, my pride. What is it that you do that brings food on the table that you are so proud about? I mean, we have our coding expert. He does this for a living and he enjoys what he is doing. I talk for a living. I'm an OAP and I love what I do. It is my work, my pride. What is your work, my pride? We're going to be showing you a video and enjoy. Don't go nowhere.
My name is Bolaji Jegede. I am the CEO of Eternity Stone Group, the Pabio Stone Group, and also the founder of the Pabio Stone Foundation. My background is in chemical engineering. I hold a first-class degree in chemical engineering from the prestigious University of Lagos in Nigeria. I later went on scholarship to Cambridge University in United Kingdom for an advanced degree in chemical engineering. I also hold certification in leadership from the University of Colorado in America. And also I hold a degree in supply chain management from the Metropolitan School of Business and Management in the UK. I have been in entrepreneurship for 21 years now. I started entrepreneurship while I was in the second year in the University of Lagos. As an entrepreneur and a student, I had 5 businesses on campus. And while I excelled academically, I was also the entrepreneur of the year when I was graduating, having run 5 businesses on campus. The Eternity Stone Group, they were into power and renewable energy, especially solar energy, where we also help companies install solar systems in their various facilities, whether hospitals or individual homes. We also provide trainings for people who want to know how to install solar systems and use that as a source of livelihood. At the Eternity Stone Group, we also are into research and development. We research into various fields of endeavor, and we also own an animation studio where we do animation movies. We also do what we call the management consulting, where in the management consulting business help SMEs secure loans for their businesses from the Bank of Agric and from the Bank of Industry. We do community development projects in various communities. It's one of the things that we excel at doing. For the past 15 years, we have provided educational bursaries. We have provided healthcare solutions. We have provided power and water to those communities in Osun State and in Nigeria at large. I remember when there was the COVID-19, when the Ebola virus also in 2015, we were at the forefront of advocacy against the virus, and they reached out to us asking for materials, which was used in West Africa during that time. I'm motivated to do entrepreneurship. I believe that entrepreneurship is my purpose, my passion, and I'm motivated because as an entrepreneur, we provide solutions that the world requires. And it's always exciting for me when I look at problems in the environment, in the communities, and solve those problems. And solving problems of people excites me. It gets my mind working on how to make people's lives better. And that's why we are where we are today, by the grace of God and by the ability to actually think and provide solutions that help people become better. I drive joy what I do and give me the motivation to continue to move from one community to another community, spreading joy, spreading happiness within Osun State and Nigeria at large. This is who I am. I'm Bolaji Jegede. My work is my pride.
Oranges are round-colored citrus fruits that grow on trees. They originally came in China, but today, these nutrient powerhouses are grown in warm climates around the world. There are different varieties. Some are sweet and some are sour. Common types include Mandarin, Valencia, Stevio, Jaffa. Every orange has more than 100% of your recommended of vitamin C. That's more than any citrus fruit you have to do to get the seeds to make it. Nutrition oranges, no sodium, 3 grams of fiber, 12 grams of sugar, 1 gram of protein, 5 grams of vitamin A, 70 milligrams of vitamin C, 6% of your daily recommended amount of calcium, 237 milligrams of potassium, 15.4 grams of carbohydrates. The vitamin C in oranges helps your body in lots of ways. Protects yourself from damage, helps your body make collagen, a protein that heals wounds and gives you smoother skin. Makes it easier to absorb iron to fight anemia. Your immune system, your body's defense against germs. Slows the advance of age-related macular degeneration, AMD, a leading cause of vision loss. Helps fight cancer, causing free radicals. When you're feeling anxious, vitamin C can also lower your levels of the stress hormone, cortisol, and your blood pressure. Some anti-inflammatory. Some food tell your immune system it's under attack. This causes inflammation. When inflammation turns into a long-term problem, it can trigger diabetes, heart diseases, arthritis, cancer, and Alzheimer's disease. Oranges have the opposite effect. Fiber. The 3 grams of fiber in a medium orange help keep your bowels healthy, your cholesterol and risk of heart disease low, and ulcers at bay. Fiber also slows the way your body absorbs sugar, a big bonus if you have diabetes. Calcium. Oranges are high in this important nutrient, which keeps your bones, organs, and muscles strong. Folate for moms and babies. Oranges are a great way to get a big dose of folate naturally. Your body uses it to divide cells and make DNA because it helps prevent birth defects. It's an especially important B vitamin for pregnant women. Good sugar. The 12 grams of sugar in an orange are all natural. That's different from the kind of sugar you'd get in a candy bar, plus all the fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants that come with an orange make it a much better choice for your body. Choose raw oranges, which have less sugar than dried kind. Potassium nutrients lowers your blood pressure, and oranges have a bunch of it. Citric acid and citrates, this can help skin forming. Of a good thing. This mainly applies to the symptoms and eat. Watch out for nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach cramps, headache, and insomnia. Oranges are high in acid, and that can make symptoms of GERD worse. If you're taking beta blockers, too many oranges could increase your potassium intake and lead to kidney damage. If your body stores iron than it needs, a condition called hemochromatosis, high doses of vitamin C can add more iron and damage your tissues. Vitamin C may also increase absorption from aluminum, like and increase estrogen levels if on hormone replaced therapy. As for orange juice, you might get some extra sugar and lose some fiber. The trade-off to fruits can also lead to weight gain, which can raise your risk for heart disease, especially in middle age. But both all oranges and the juice are for you. And we are back. Bring the light on Western Spring Television, channel 190 DTT on Star Time. And of course, my name is Ajibike and Jeremy Ojo. That's been a beautiful time talking to that coding expert and making me to understand that this coding is the new literacy. That is whatever we know before. Let us just drop it and pick up the coding and the tech on the coding and the tech world. That was a beautiful one, Mr. Victor Oladipo. And of course, you enjoyed the fruit report. The truth is, these are part of the ways you can take care of your body, you know, after you burning out calories, which is the aerobic session. And of course, we also have the fruit report. You say it is always a good thing when you have fresh fruit. You know what you're consuming, you can see, you know, and of course, it has all vitamins and essentials that are good for your body. So in whatever it is that is your diet, do not omit the intake of fruits. And that is why we are here to enlighten you. My second guest is well seated right now. I call her the work of art. She has been here before. The first time she came, that is what we say. You can't do what no one has done before, but the ability to carve a niche for yourself is what really makes you different. I call her my work of art. She's indeed she is. Okay, her name is Patience Adekunle, and she is a creative visual artist. Hello, Patience. How are you?
Good morning, ma.
It's so good to see you.
I'm happy to see you again.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
You look very beautiful.
Thank you, ma.
Okay, you are a creative visual artist.
Yeah.
First of all, I say, What brought about what you're wearing today? What comes to your mind when you want to wear an outfit as a creative visual artist? What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you want to wear an attire?
Oh, thank you very much. When I want to step out or whenever I want to dress, I think of myself being an art myself because I'm a representation of what I'm carrying.
True.
So whatever I'm dressing, I definitely know that's how I'll be addressed. And as a matter of fact, I love my work to speak for myself, especially with what I'm wearing before I even speak.
You are already making a statement.
Exactly.
Beautiful. That's a beautiful one. Now, there is this perception that, back then, I don't know if it is a stereotype, to say like your line of work when it comes to being an artist, visual, maybe audio or visual artist, what we see is the men's world. Like they are coming up with all muscles put together. They are creating stuff like they are the pattern, different men in this line. So was that a problem for you when you got into this line?
Well, exactly. I would say yes.
Okay.
Because for every artist, especially female artists, we face this kind of challenge. It is a challenge that is never to be erased.
Okay.
Because people in the society think that doing a strenuous work like that, it is only men that can do it.
Is it strenuous?
It is. Some part of it is.
Okay.
But as it is, we don't have to limit ourselves because we are female. I can't do this, I can't do that because I'm a female. In fact, there are some period of time or sometimes family will be like, you can't do this, it's too much for you. It's men work. You just have to drop it. But as it is, for a female artist that knows whatever she's doing, it is not always as strenuous as they think of.
As a visual artist, what exactly do you do?
I'm a creative visual artist.
Creative.
I paint with any medium, both conventional and non-conventional material.
Explain conventional and non-conventional.
Like conventional materials now, they are the regular items that we see, like color, like acrylic paints. Once you see pencil drawing and paintings, those are the basic or common material.
Conventional.
Conventional.
Okay.
Now, talking about unconventional material are the materials that are like waste or not the regular type that we think of. Say waste or a refuse, say bead, something that is not regular, like fabric, like wire, like what can I do? I do with wire. So those are part of non-conventional material. I can just pick up nylon and use it to create work of art. So those are examples of non-conventional.
When you talk about waste products, how do you get them? Do you like visit, waste bins to get these things, or how does that go on?
Exactly, I have to look for it. In fact, sometimes I might be going, I would have even forgotten myself that, no, you don't have to pick it up on the ground. I just pick it up because my materials, it does not have a particular place when I get them. I can just get it on the street, inside the gutters.
Wow.
I just have to pick it up. People will be looking at me like, why are you? It is my work. I have to be proud of it.
But why being a creative visual artist? Why this for you? Is it like it has started from the inception with you, or you grew into loving that?
Well, there is a saying that all of us are born artists. We are born to be an artist. It all depends on the way we are able to build ourselves on it. This is the path I want to follow. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So as I continue to grow, I'm getting myself better. Because you can't compare the way I was in the past 10 years or 5 years ago.
Wait, what you are now?
Exactly, because I'm learning every day. I'm trying to improve myself on what I do every day.
Yeah.
So it's getting better. I can actually say that. So the more I work, the more better I get.
That's the truth. The more you work, the more better you get, and you should actually get, because you not getting better is a problem.
It is.
Exactly. So whatever it is that
stagnant.
So whatever it is that you do, you should get better at what it is. I'm picking this from you, Patience, and I'm sure somebody is picking that too. So now tell me, how lucrative is what you do? Are you in it? When we dabble into things that we do, we want to make money, right? But for you, is it money? Some want to make money first. Exactly. Some are doing it because it is their passion. For you, what's the first thing? And is it lucrative for you now?
Well, I would say it is of two ways.
Tell me. Because
there are sometimes if you want to do something because of money, you get discouraged if the money is not coming in.
If it's not coming.
So myself, I'm doing my work because of the passion I have for it. So when the money comes, it's a win for me. But as it is, there's no one that wants to work without being earned or getting money from
even if it's stipend, yeah.
But then if I have to go with the money part because I want to do this to make money, I will just remain the same. Because once the money is not coming in, I will just give up. Because art it is a lucrative work, whereby it's not even a work that you have to see the money every day. But I know that once I sell a particular work, it can even cover for more of the things I want to do. But then I don't have to settle for because of the money. I work because of the passion. And as it is, we have a lot of female artists in the industry, like Peju Alatishe, like Nike Art Gallery, like Dennis, international and Nigeria female artists that are actually doing well. So if they can do it, definitely I can also do it.
Well, I love, tell me about your educational background. Are you a graduate yet?
Yes, I graduated from Ladoke Akintola University of Technology with BTech.
Okay, what did you study?
Fine and applied art.
Now I see where this is actually coming from. Okay. So who are your target audience though? Like when you come out with your materials, your products, what you do, your visual art, who are your target audience? Who are the people you want to sell your stuff to?
Well, art is not for everyone, but I would want to sell my art to people who appreciate it, not people that will feel like, let me just help her because I want to buy her work. No, people that knows the message that I'm passing, that
are saying what you was doing.
Exactly, that my art can speak to them, can tell them something, that can actually pronounce the voice within them out and touch them. Those are the kind of people that I would love to sell my artwork for, especially both internationally and home and abroad.
And how has this been, trying to get people who just love what you were doing, who are seeing it, not people that are buying things from you? No, she's good at. So how has that been for you? Have you been getting this like minds to come on board with you?
I would say it has not been easy at all. It has not been easy because art is a luxury. It's not something that I can just pick up for this small amount of money. Looking at the energy, the time, the emotion that is into the art. So, like I said, I keep on working to gather people. I put in for exhibition.
Okay.
I put in for art workshop.
Okay.
And a lot of it so that people can actually get to see what I do.
Counting in years, how long has this been for you?
The artwork?
Yes, please. Yes.
That I can remember professionally.
Professionally, of course.
I would say I started 2018, 2019.
We're talking 6 years ago?
To make money from art since 2018. But before then, I have to practice. I don't want to, because it is the message that I pass out first that people will know me. If I actually create a bad work for you now, you might not want to recommend the work that she did for me. I don't like it.
Yes.
Let us use somebody that is better.
Yes.
But before 2018, I continued to learn, build myself. Before I present myself that this is who I am, I know that at least to some extent, I get myself better. So starting from 2018, 2019, I'm already making money from art.
Is it enough for you? But before you answer that question, your earrings, did you make that yourself?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you make earrings too?
Yes, because most of these little crafts, I think that we should just jump away and I use it to create some things that I can wear, like consumable art.
Wow, then that is like a seller for you too. Like I do this, that it complements what. Okay, so now, but it's very beautiful. I hope I can get one from you as soon as you can. Okay, but then, is it enough for you, what you do right now, this creative visual art? Do you think it is something that you can look back years from now when you have a family, I'd be like, yes, I didn't make the wrong choice when I dabbled into this?
I would say yes.
Okay.
Although it might not be enough, and looking at the economy and everything is getting at the other side. But then I would say in the past years I've been working as a creative visual artist, I have not regret making the decision, because there are some people that will be like, I have other options that will be fetching me money. This other work will be fetching me money. Art is not something that you'll be making money from every day. But as it is, I can say that art is just everything. Art is what you can settle for. Just know how to manage your niche and how to arrange and organize yourself.
Wow, beautiful. We keep saying this on Spring Delight that you cannot do what nobody has done before, but the ability for you to carve a niche for yourself and get better at what you do, it is that makes you unique. Obviously, she has her work, her pride already. But let me ask you this, Precious. If you weren't into this, like being a creative visual artist, What is that thing that has caught your fancy again? Do you think you would have wanted to do something else? What would it have been if you had a second option?
If it is not painting, if it is not art, maybe craft or something.
Wow. You couldn't have done anything else except things. Why do you think this is it for you? Is it like a family thing or this is just you? What does daddy and mommy, what do they do?
They are civil servants.
Okay.
So I would say this is just me because I express myself more with creativities. Because without that, there is no way I can actually speak about myself.
What does my mind tell me? You probably have this urge for it, maybe probably since when you were a kid.
I think so. And looking at our family back, I think most of us are like fashionable and all.
Explain that for me.
If for instance, when we were young, my mom would not allow you to follow her out just looking
shabbily dressed.
You have to be looking
as in you want to turn back and look again like, oh, that's her daughter.
Exactly, something like that. Even up till now, with her age, she does not even care. Maybe I'm going to market, I just have to wear something that like, okay, who is this coming? She will dress well.
What do you think the government can do to support young and upcoming skillful persons like you? Do you think the government has a role to play in making it better for young ones coming like you?
Well, I would say like empowerment is also part of it.
Beautiful.
Empowering female artists, because looking at those female artists that are already at the top of their career now, they started from somewhere.
Fair enough.
So for somebody like us or a young female artist that is just coming up, I think we need a lot of support. We need a lot of empowerment. Little things can actually count in whatever we do. So once we receive this empowerment, entry for exhibition, and a lot of workshop, this can also help us to grow better.
Beautiful. So yes, a lot of empowerment, no matter where it is coming from, would help young entrepreneurs, creative people like this come into the limelight. That is why we are here on Spring Delight, and I'm sure the government are listening. And I know for sure that you are going places, Precious. As a man looking at you from your head to your toe, it is obvious this is just the beginning of what you are going to do. Was pretty nice having you on board today. I'm sure I hope you're enjoying and having a good time with the guest on board on Spring Delights today. Our coding experts just left, and of course our creative visual artist, the lady of the work of art herself. So right now we are going to be taking a short break where we're going to be taking you what is cooking in the kitchen like this. This is our food segment. I don't know what is cooking in the kitchen, but I feel like I'm salivating already. And of course we have our spring fact. Spring facts are those words that we just want you to read, to just assimilate them and make you reminisce on how and which way to go day by day. As we co-host ready to go home, go on this and we are going to be right back.
This vegetable soup is made with fluted pumpkin leaves, that's ugu, and water leaves. Let's just dive right into the recipe. We're using our fluted pumpkin leaves, that's ugu. Wash the leaves properly, cut them up, and I sprinkle some salt and just let it stand. The next we'll be using is water leaf. This water leaf, just make sure you watch this video to the end so that you know how I prepared the water leaf before use. This is not the end result. So I'm going to use some pepper and some crayfish. I mixed the pepper, I used yellow pepper, I used the red one. I'm going to use goat meat for this. Some komo, that's cow skin. Some stockfish, I've soaked this in salt water so it's soft. Periwinkle and some dried catfish. So I'm going to make sure you season the meat properly. I'm going to cook the meat, stockfish, and come together. I put seasoning cubes and some salt. Add the onion, chopped onions, and just cover this to cook. And this is it. 7 minutes later, I'm going to add water, allow it cook. I don't want the soup to be watery, so I'm going to add a little water. My goat meat is soft already. It's a soft type, not the very hard type. Put the dried fish down and let them cook together. Add some yellow pepper to give it some flavor and little heat. for this too. While the meat is on fire, I'm going to work on the water leaf. The water leaf has a lot of liquid. This is rainy season now, so the water leaf has so much water, and I don't want that. So I'm going to squeeze out some of the liquid. As I'm doing this, of course, my leaves are going to shrink. They're not going to be as much as they were. Leaves. So this is what I'm going to do. This is almost ready. I'm going to just take the periwinkles. The periwinkles are normally kind of cooked before they are removed, so it does not take long for them to cook. Mix it up. Now I'm going to put in the oil, my palm oil. I'll cover this and let it cook for another 3 minutes. Now this is ready to receive my vegetables. I'm seeing my squeeze leaves now. Veggies are so healthy. If I grow up with vegetables, if you want to build your blood level, if you want to have increased antioxidants in your system, vegetable soup is the way to go. I like to please. I'm putting my I just squeeze it. I have not added anything in the soup because the thing I put at the beginning and the salt are okay. Bearing in mind that salt was also added to the leaves, so you don't break your seasoning when you have not yet put your ugu leaves, your fluted pumpkin leaves, so you don't oversalt your food. But I added more palm oil because I wanted it to have a particular look and taste. I covered it for 3 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes. Then you cook brown and lose additional value. So practically, guys, it's delicious. In fact, you can customize it to suit your taste. Are you a fan of vegetable soup? Yeah, so this is how easy to cook yourself. You can have the vegetable and this is so vegetables are green, still have a nice look and still little crunch to vegetables. It's our super fun results.
It was a beautiful edition here on Spring Delight today, and I hope you had a good time watching us too. From the coding expert, Mr. Victor, and to our visual artist, Miss Precious. they were both, we had one or two things to pick. Thank you for staying tuned with us. Thank you for keeping up with us. Thank you so much. For those of you who follow up on us on all our social media platforms, we want to say a very big thank you. Olatunde could not be here today, but then Ajibike was here, and that is all that matters. A very big thank you to our very own CEO, Dr. Femi Adefila, for the opportunity, and of course to the entire transmission team, from our director to our able producer, and of course the camera and the lightman. We say a very big thank you. My name is Ajibike Anjorin Ojo. Do well to follow me on all social media platforms at simply_Ajibs2. I don't know why that is not showing right now, but at simply_Ajibs2, and I'm going to follow you right back. Okay, we're going to take you through other things, but right now I am signing out, and I pray to God I see you for next week. Enjoy your Saturday. Bye.
Wild West, and Cisco Television is pulling out all the stops to make sure that you don't miss out on every of the fun and happenings around you. Yup, we've got you covered, because your girl got all the juiciest tidbits and entertainment news from around the world. Cross up to the chocolatey side of entertainment. Join me, Chocolate Cassie, on Eccentric as we take you into every bit of the juiciest news, fashion, music, movie updates, and other trending conversations. Together on the show, we'll get personal with your favorite celebrities via phone call, Zoom, or even live here in the studio. Eccentric will be shown on your TV screen on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on StarTimes.
Hilas Olayinka, accomplished nationalist and journalist, was the first Nigerian to qualify as a civil engineer, surveyor and architect. Born November 14, 1864, Herbert Macaulay was the founder of Nigeria's National Democratic Party, the first political party in pre-independent Nigeria. Scholars of Nigeria's political history describe Herbert Macaulay as the intellectual bulldog of 19th century Nigerian nationalist movement, in a deference to his qualities as founder and leader of two foremost political parties, Nigeria National Democratic Party (NNDP) and National Council of Nigerian Citizens (NCNC). His matchless versatility in party organization and control kept the British colonialists on their toes in the entire span of his active life. After his death on 7th May 1946, Herbert Macaulay remains a hero of his country, which recognized his anti-colonial struggles. Today, Nigeria's 10 naira coin bears his oval face and trademark moustache. Western Spring Television identifies Herbert Macaulay as a major character in history.
Here are 5 amazing fun facts I bet you never knew about Christianity.
Number 1, there are over 2.4 billion Christians worldwide.
Amazing fun fact number 2. The Bible is one of the best-selling books of all time, with more than sold in heaven and hell. The Bible is the most translated book in the world, with more than 3,000 languages.
Amazing fun fact number 5. Most Christians throw science out of the window without realizing that most scientists are Christians. Hello, I am Pastor Steve Akinwumi.
And I am Dr. Adeoye Oyewole.
Join us as we highlight and discuss day-to-day issues pertaining to the day-to-day living of every Christian.
Issues in Christendom shows every Sunday on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on StarTimes.
Abin da yasa nake son Yankari shine saboda irin albarkatun da Allah ya mata, sa'annan kuma ni ina tare da ita, ina gefenta, kuma na zo na ga albarkatun nan, na ga ina so, ina sha'awan in taya ta tsarewa innan dabbobin.
My work includes patrolling, community awareness, law enforcement, and we also go on research. Before we just the work without knowing the basics.
When I started here, I felt it was mission impossible. The guys were not trained, they don't understand the benefit of collecting data when they go out on patrol. They had no uniforms. We realized immediately that there is a need for an international standard training.
Wanda ba mu da ilimi ya za mu yi mukama mutum mun gan shi kawai gudu muke yi mu mukama, amma yanzu mun samu ilimin da akwai dabaru da muke bi, muke amfani da shi wajen bi domin mu kama mai laifi a gandun.
We learned so much about marksmanship and weapon handling and how to carry out a patrol and how to engage an enemy.
Wannan horo ya canza mana irin yadda da muke, domin yadda da muke da muna tafiya riganmu daban wandonmu daban, yana samun mu ƙara jin ƙarfi sosai a wajenmu, a jikinmu. Ci tsakaninmu da 'yan uwa yana zama mana kamar da ba mu fahimtar juna sosai, amma yanzu muna fahimtar juna sosai. Muna kuma sanar da juna halin da muke ciki gaba daya, don haka mun samu ƙarin dankon zumunci sosai. Muke saboda aikinmu duk na tafiya tare ne. Lolin da muke fuskanta na farko shine muna fuskantar matsala na maharba, wato masu bin dabbobi su kashe domin su sai.
Holding the thought of an elephant makes me really sad and makes me realize that if we don't continue to do what we are doing very well and even improve on it, it means in the next few years we might have no more elephants. But then when I see what we are doing and the results we are getting, I feel very hopeful. Recently, our rangers were able to arrest a gang of 7, and we got some of our rangers go as far as traveling all across Nigeria to train other rangers. This couldn't be dreamt of when we started this project.
Sai ya zamana ma mun ƙara yin daraja da mun sun ɗauke mu abokan gaba ne, amma saboda ilimin da muka samu muna wayar musu da kai dangane da irin yadda illan da suke kashe dabbobi ko suke sare itatuwa ko kuma suke aikata wasu abubuwa da ba daidai ba a cikin gandu. Muna bi muna dan wayar musu da kai, sai ya zamana mun zama abokansu ba abokan gaba. Abinda nake so mutanen Najeriya su gane saboda tsaron dabbobi da kuma yadda suke shine dabbobin nan da Allah ya bamu su, kowane halitta yana da kyau a bar shi a matsayinsa yadda Allah ya yi shi. Don haka abinda za ka lalata shi ba za ka mai da shi ba, to ka bar shi a inda yake.
Evelyn Ohiole, King Eve, how are you today?
I'm good, I'm fine, I'm alive.
I really feel like she's not giving the right answer to the question. When one asks you, how are you? And you said, you're saying, I'm alive. It's very annoying, seriously. how are you? I'm fine. I feel I'm fine would be the right answer instead of I'm alive. Not that I asked you if you're dead before.
Go and check all these 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, everybody, they are extraordinarily sexually active.
I feel is being unnecessarily hyper when it comes to the issue of sex, because we talk about other topics and he feels so reserved. He really doesn't have anything much to say when it comes to other stuff. But when it's the issue of sex, I believe he's being unnecessarily hyper. That's when I have to pick an issue with him. I mean, it's just being unnecessarily there when we're talking about sex. Just like a child, his mom just got him his favorite chocolate or ice cream, very happy, doing as though if he doesn't have sex for a day, he's going to die.
When it comes to finance, women also support their husbands financially. You need me emotionally. You need me spiritually.
Cassie is an amazing person, but I hate the too much attached to that gender. I need you spiritually, I need you mentally. I can get these things anywhere with money. If you go by the topic was, who does marriage favors the most? I know how many jobless women they marry every Saturday. They are saying it favors you, Are they vague so?
Growing up, when I was in the world, we've heard of
Why, you know?
Well, MC Too Much said, he likes saying when I was in the world. And the last time I checked, well, it looks a bit innocent, facially, but deep down, is he actually out of this world? We're all in the world now. As long as you're alive, you're in the world. So, MC Too Much, I beg when you talk about that. I don't want to hear that. Next time you talk about I kiss my ass.
I think they have a problem with you saying ladies are champion, and that's the problem. Always trying to attach so much importance to that gender.
It's giving insecurity, it's giving low self-esteem, it's giving the blatant display of egoism. Because at the end of the day, a man who is secured in his words, a man who is confident of who he is, will not really be disturbed as to whether women are being referred to as champions or not. I mean, at the end of the day, Joseph's a really great guy, but whether he likes it or not, women are champions.
Born Jeremiah Oyeni Obafemi on March 6, 1909, Obafemi Awolowo was a prime architect of Nigeria's independence and most consummate advocate of free education and social welfare in Africa's most populous nation. Erudite politician, thinker and philosopher, who was fondly addressed by associates and political colleagues, brought his unique attributes to bear on governance in the defunct Western region. He administered as leader of government business and the premier between 1955 and 1958. Obafemi Awolowo's premiership witnessed pioneering in multi-sectoral policy initiatives and execution. The Western region under his administration breaks several amiable records. First television station, first real estate in Nigeria, first high-rise building in Nigeria, first modern sports stadium in Nigeria, first agricultural settlement in Nigeria, and first industrial estate in Nigeria. His face is on 100 naira denomination as a mark of honor for his distinguished services to his country. Western Spring Television identifies Obafemi Awolowo as a major character in history.
Since assuming the mantle of leadership in Osun, the state of the Living Spring, Governor Ademola Adeleke has left no one in doubt about his avowed commitment to the overall development of the state. The footprints of his transformative agenda span through education, transportation, health, staff welfare, social infrastructure, among others. Living Spring Update, a weekly diary on Rave 91.7 FM and Western Spring Television, Channel 190 Star Times DTT, will extract Governor Adeleke's development agenda for your listening and viewing pleasure. From the bustling market to innovative agricultural initiatives, from the testimonies of civil servants and retirees to the cheers of artists across the state of the Living Spring, we'll discover how Governor Adeleke's administration is driving the economic growth of the state. Stay informed and engaged with Living Spring Update, where we'll build deep into detail of ongoing infrastructural projects, new initiatives, healthcare, education, other impactful strides being made across the state. Tune in every Wednesday on Western Spring Television at 6 p.m. and every Saturday on Rave 91.7 FM at exactly 2:30 p.m. You can follow us on all our social media platforms at Western Spring Television and at Rave 917 FM as we tell the story of how Governor Adeleke is shaping Osun into the beacon of development and opportunity.
Living Spring Update is a production of the Office of the Spokesperson to the Governor, Governor's Office, Osogbo.
Dramatist, playwright, and icon of Yoruba thematic arts, Duro Ladipo was born December 18, 1931 in Osogbo, southwest Nigeria. His clergyman father christened him Timothy. His other names, Duro Dola, Duro Shomo, Duro Orike, reflected his persona and the circumstances that surrounded his birth. The legendary stage actor had in several public fora identified himself as one of the greatest abikus born to die in this world. Family records reveal how he was born and died 13 times. The intertwining names he bore thus lent credence to his spiritism. Duro Ladipo was one of the best known and world-acclaimed Yoruba dramatists to emerge from post-colonial Africa. His notable works Obakoso, Obawaja and Moremi took him beyond Africa to several parts of the world. By the time Duro Ladipo died on 11 March 1978, the Nigeria's first cultural ambassador had acquired a towering image as an artist whose works adorned the frontage of Trenchard Hall, University of Ibadan. Western Spring Television identifies Duro Ladipo as a major character in history.
Arrested, affected, sound, found. What do we see? What do we say? Flowing from a spring. A fact A to Z. Check and confirm. Ever expounding current events. Traveling down from the business gist to the globally arising happening, to the bottles, to the bitter infos. Transmission, even diffusion, bat and fast, detailed facts, with nuggets of words that flew across and bonded words, broken and dissected as it is, except misheard. This is the news as it is.
As it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a world where warmth and connection flow abundantly. Join us as we embark on a journey of healing and discovery, brought to you live from the prestigious Western Spring Television studios. Prepare to be embraced by a wave of positive energy and insightful discussions. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our community. I am Temitope Ajijola Oluwaola. Our Spring Clinic will delve into everything health and well-being so we can help you not only to feel better, but also bring you information that will help you reduce the risk of diseases, lengthen your lifespan, save you money, and benefit the environment. For some time now, we have been discussing basic anatomy, examining the human body organs and systems via the respiratory system, the digestive system, the circulatory system, the excretory system, the nervous system, the reproductive system. We've had the honor of our own medic, seasoned family physician with over a decade's worth of experience under his sleeve, Dr. Ayodeji Ogunbemi, taking us step-by-step through sessions on the respiratory and digestive systems. Thank you for your commitment to the health and well-being of all, Dr. Sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're expectant of all we're going to, glean from you on the broadcast. We gave our word that the circulatory system will be our next focus, and we're making good that promise today. If you do not take notes now, I will assume it is because you know that you can revisit the broadcast on Western Spring Television's YouTube channel and our other social media platforms. The circulatory system and organ. Over to you, Dr.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And I must sincerely appreciate the management and the crew. I had the privilege of seeing so much that goes on.
Well, they appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Well, so I should go on.
Yes.
Okay.
Have the floor.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. The circulatory system. How should I start now? We can also call it the cardiovascular system. So circulatory means that something is going in circles, circulatory. Then cardiovascular, which is more anatomical. That is cardio, the heart. Then vascular, the vessels. So for people that are listening, to be able to understand, so when you say cardio, anything, anywhere you read it or you hear it, cardio means heart, then vascular. So I'll try within the little time, because this is an area that people will specialize in. And any specialist in cardiovascular system will be called the cardiologist. So I doff my hat to all cardiologists watching. Okay, let's go on. So the cardiovascular system or the circulatory system is a very intricate part. It apparently looks like the central part to all systems. Well, maybe I shouldn't put it like that, but without it, without any system, you won't have the whole body. But the cardiovascular system is such a unique one, intricately meshed together with other systems. So let me just break it down so that our viewers will understand very well. I've tried to divide it into 3 or 4 parts. The first part is that, let me list the components. We have the heart, we have the vessels, and the vessels could be, we have the artery and the veins, then we have the capillaries. Now it looks like this, it's just like a complete circuit. We have the heart in the middle, we have the artery taking the blood away from the heart to other parts of the body. Then we have the veins taking the blood back to the heart from other parts of the body. Then the capillaries appear to be like the intermediary between the arteries and the veins. So the heart is the pumping part. That's why when you feel the left side of your chest, you would, we call it, you palpate, you will feel the beat, your heartbeat. So it's a muscular organ. It keeps pumping, and it's a very strong organ, very, very strong. So then through the arteries, we have the large arteries, the aorta, from the aorta, the big arteries, which are usually described as the elastic arteries. You would wonder why.
Yeah.
We call it elastic arteries because once the heart pumps blood, they must be able to receive it. And so they will expand to accommodate the blood coming from the heart, because the heart is pumping it with a whole lot of force. And then they accommodate it, they kind of reduce the tempo in which it's coming, then transmit it to smaller arteries, which are usually described as muscular arteries. Then from there, they now get to the arterioles. The arterioles are just very tiny, tiny arteries. Then from the arterioles, it gets to the capillaries. Then from the capillaries, from the artery side, then it gets to the capillaries on the venous side, that is vein side. Then it climbs up like that. Then through the inferior and superior vena cava, they enter the right side of the heart. So that's a way in which I can break it down. The second way I can break it down is to make us understand that there's an intricate meshing between the circulatory system, that is cardiovascular system, and the pulmonary system, which we discussed the last time. Because the respiratory system helps us to bring in the air, that is the oxygen. And one of the major goals of the circulatory system is to carry that oxygen gotten from the lungs, the respiratory system, to other parts of the body. Because other parts of the body need the oxygen. So how does this happen? I'm trying to break it down for you to get it. Okay, you may have to follow me stepwisely. Now, the heart, the human heart, has two sides. It has 4 chambers, but 2 sides. So it has 2 2 atrium, and then 2 ventricles.
2 sides, could we say left and right?
Yes. So yes, we have the left side and we have the right side. So on the left side, okay, this is my left. On the left side, we have the left atrium, left ventricle. On the right side, we have the right atrium, the right ventricle. And you must understand, or people must know now, that the left side is the stronger side. I'll explain. The right side, the atrium from both sides, receives blood into the heart. So the right side will get oxygenated blood from the lungs. That is, the blood that passes through the lungs that have now gotten oxygen from the respiratory system and excreted or exchanged it for CO2. CO2 has, the respiratory system has taken the carbon dioxide away and given the blood oxygen. That is the blood that leaves the lungs through the pulmonary vein, leaves the lungs and enters the left ventricle. So let me say something like a low pressure is it, because the blood is just flowing into the left atrium. On the left atrium, the heart pushes the blood into the left ventricle. And then from the left ventricle, which is a very thick side, a stronger side than the right side, it forces blood, that it pushes blood from that side to other parts of the body. So the force there will be stronger than the left, which is only taking blood to the lungs. You know.
And the right.
Okay, than the right. You seem to have got it. So the left side is more muscular, is thicker, is stronger than the right, because the right only receives blood. The blood the right receives is from the veins, and it's not under pressure. The veins are not really under pressure. The arteries are under pressure. The arteries are the muscular ones. So the left side has to push blood, and the blood must go around. So by the time the blood is returning, obviously the pressure is no more there. So the pressure, they are just flowing as you are walking, as you are exercising. It's aiding the venous return. Then the blood just returns into the right atrium from the inferior vena cava and superior vena cava. Superior vena cava, it drains blood from the brain, from the head, and then the 2 arms. The inferior vena cava from the lower limbs, that is the 2 legs, abdomen, and all the legs. So it gets into the right atrium. From the right atrium, gets into the right ventricle. From the right ventricle, the blood getting to the right ventricle is deoxygenated. That is, the blood getting away from the left is oxygenated. Don't forget I said from the lungs. They've gotten oxygen from the lungs. So it gets to the left side. The left side pushes oxygenated blood. That's why if you look at different anatomical descriptions, they'll put it like red, like bright red. That is, oxygen is more. However, well, I'll come back to that. So by the time it's getting back to the right side, different cells, different organs have gotten the oxygen. We've gotten the oxygen. So we have deoxygenated blood getting to the right side. So the right ventricle pushes the deoxygenated back to the respiratory system, right, to the lungs, so that the CO2, which is now bringing, collected, it gave oxygen, it received CO2. The CO2 now gets to the lungs, releases the CO2 to the lungs, then we breathe it out, then collects the oxygen, and then that comes back to the left side of the heart. So we can see that it's like a husband and a wife. The cardiovascular system or the circulatory system cannot exist without the respiratory system. They are just together. So that's analysis. So we call it, we can divide this into, they say, pulmonary circulation and then systemic circulation. Pulmonary circulation, that is the circulation that goes to the lungs. If you look at it, it looks like a loop. and then there's another big loop below. So the other one that feeds the entire body is the systemic circulation. So that's another description. I think with that, I've already talked about the two sides of the heart. Then maybe I now talk about the functions of the heart. I was going to say earlier that by anatomical descriptions in many texts, you find the left side or the oxygenated side being so bright red. That's where it's painted. The artery is always painted red. Then the veins are usually painted blue. Then the layman would think the vessels and the blood, maybe the oxygenated blood will be blue and then the oxygenated blood will be red. Really, blood is always red. It's always red. However, once oxygen is taken away from the blood, it gives a bluish hue to it. So it looks a little bit darker, because during surgeries, there are ways to identify the artery from the vein. I mentioned one earlier. The arteries are almost always under pressure because from the left side of the heart, it's pumping seriously, you know. It's pumping with full force. So you almost always find the artery pulsating. You know, you almost always find the veins not pulsating, except the vein is lying over an artery. So it will just be moving at the pace of the artery. So you can identify that. Then the coloration. Oxygenated blood is usually bright red. Deoxygenated blood is usually like dark red. If you are checking it, maybe through a fair complexion person, may appear like blue. But it's not blue. It's just because the color has been filtered through the complexion of the skin, really. So it's more like dark red, bright red. You know, sometimes we ask people, if somebody says that he's pooing blood, we usually will ask, what's the color? Because the color will give us a description of where, and maybe it's an artery or a vein, and then maybe it's upper GI or lower GI. That's a big matter on its own. Then let's move on. So the artery. I've mentioned that we have different types of arteries. Then it goes on to the capillaries, from the capillaries to the veins, to the heart. So if there's any problem along this number of vessels, and I need to let you know at this point that the heart is a very fantastic muscular organ. Do you know that at rest, the heart pumps about 5 to 6 liters of blood per minute, not per hour?
5 to 6
liters.
And this is inside our body?
Yes. Per minute, not per hour. And for an athlete, it can pump up to like 30 to 35 liters per minute.
From 5 to 6, then 30 to 35.
Yeah, because the more you, now this is it. As we are seated here, I'm calm, you are relaxed. The basic metabolism going on in our body is at a lower state. If you are sleeping, it's lower. My muscles are not really moving except for my hands. So the consumption of oxygen, the demand for oxygen, it's lower. But if I'm exercising myself, the cells in my body are demanding more, because oxygen is the source of, is the main thing. You get it, is the fuel, is the gasoline, is the petrol, is what does it call it?
Of the human body.
Yes, of the human body. So the more I exercise, the more my cells start to demand oxygen. And then the heart has to supply the oxygen at the same rate. Else, this is where the issue comes in. Else, once there's not enough oxygen, the cells of the body try to get fuel from other things. Just like this is an international TV, but let's come to Nigeria. Let's come to Southwest. If there's petrol scarcity, people start to burn wood. Abi? They go to coal, which has smoke. Abi? And chokes people. Am I correct? So when you don't have enough oxygen in the body, the cells change from the oxygen, they try to look for other ways of getting energy. So they now have to go through fat metabolism and all the likes. And then that produces lactic acid. It's an acid, which causes pain in that part of the body. So when people exercise to a point, one of the reasons why they will get to that signifies their limit is that they start to feel pain in their muscles. That place is aching me. It's because the supply of oxygen to that place is not being met. So there's another means in which the muscles are now getting the energy that is now producing lactic acid. So let me not bore you with that because
it's interesting.
It's interesting. So that's that. Now, circulatory system does not only function around oxygen. I must say that at this point. Number one, oxygen has to supply oxygen to other parts of the body, and this is important when it gets to the brain because the brain cannot do without oxygen for more than 4 to 5 minutes. You must understand that. That's why people that have stroke, intervention must be almost as fast as possible, within minutes. If oxygen is not getting to the nerves, particularly to the brain, 4 to 5 minutes, the nerves will just start to pack up. That's one. Then two, so the brain is also intricately dependent on the cardiovascular system. Number two is our kidneys. Do you know that the kidneys receive about 20% of the cardiac output? That is, whatever amount of blood comes out from the heart, 20% goes to our kidneys. So you can start to see that the kidneys, the functions of the kidney, by the time we get to excretory system, we talk about kidney and everything, is also intricately dependent on the circulatory system. So the excretory system, in which the kidney is part of, is also dependent on the circulatory system. The nervous system, which the brain is the coordinating organ, is dependent on the cardiovascular system.
Yes, sir.
Can I progress?
Please do.
Now, when we eat, because I've talked about oxygen now, I've talked about CO2. Oxygen, circulatory system helps us to distribute the oxygen across the cells in the body, then collect CO2, carbon dioxide from all the cells and get to the lungs. So those two appear to be prominent. Well, that's not the only thing that the cardiovascular system does. Cardiovascular system also helps to supply all the cells with appropriate nutrients. So that gets us to the digestive system. That's why I said the circulatory system appears to be like the central system in which other systems are dependent upon. So if you eat, the only way the food, aside the digestion, the assimilation, the absorption, it is the blood that will carry the nutrients from your GIT, that is gastrointestinal system, to other parts of the body. Because when I eat now, it goes through my stomach, intestine, out. So what is needed in the food is absorbed by the blood and then distributed across other cells. Number next, so that's third point, that is distribution of nutrients. Number next is hormones. It helps to transport hormones. Hormones are chemicals released from different parts of the body that have other functions in other parts of the body. So there's no other way for these hormones to be transported to other parts of the body except that through the circulatory system. So the organs producing the hormones will release the hormones into the circulatory system, and then the circulatory system will now transport it to the organ in which it is needed. So those are 4 basic functions. Number next about the functions of the cardiovascular system is that all these I've described is like in a loop, Abi, like heart, vessels, back to heart, vessel, back to heart. If there's any leakage, now I use the word leakage so that we can understand. An average human being, an average adult should have like 5 liters of blood, 5 to 5.5 liters of blood. If there's any leakage, which occurs when we're in trauma, we call it hemorrhage, that blood is now coming out. If that leakage is not stopped on time, the person dies. We all know that. Somebody is bleeding. That's why anytime, either internally or externally, that's why anytime anybody is bleeding, people shout, let's help him. Because we know that as long as the blood is coming out, the blood will not be sufficient to go round. Abi? So the blood in itself, which is a component of the circulatory system or cardiovascular system, helps in clotting. Clotting is a process where, how should I describe it? Where we seal off the leakage, where the system itself seals off leakages, because you can also seal off leakages from outside. You know, we can say compress, you can surgically stop it, you can apply things to stop it. But the way, that's why if there's a cut, you notice that after a while, you have clot formation to stop the leakages. If not, to every cut we have, that's potential death. And I need to say this to potentiate the issue of leakages, that is hemorrhage. If, you know, that maybe you need to observe that whenever somebody is bleeding, after a short time, he starts to feel dizzy. It's okay, I can't, because blood supply to the brain is reducing, blood supply to other organs is reducing, and then the person starts to lose grasp of reality. And the person falls to the ground. And that's why we say, do you want to round up now? Or?
We won't round up. We'll just, you know, hold it there for a while. We need to go on this very quick breather. And then when we get back, we'll continue from that part about, you know, oxygen supply in the body getting less or when you're bleeding. Just quick breather and we'll be back.
Born Jeremiah Oyeni Obafemi on March 6, 1909, Obafemi Awolowo was a prime architect of Nigeria's independence and most consummate advocate of free education and social welfare in Africa's most populous nation. A politician, thinker, philosopher, who was fully addressed by associates and political colleagues, brought his unique attributes to bear on governance in the defunct Western region. He administered as leader of government business and the premier between 1955 and 1958. Obafemi Awolowo's premiership witnessed pioneering in multi-sectoral policy initiatives and execution. Western his administration paraded several honorable records. First television station in Africa, first re-edit in Nigeria, first high-rise building in Nigeria, first modern sports stadium in Nigeria, first agricultural settlement in Nigeria, and first industrial estate in Nigeria. His face is on 100 Naira denomination as a mark of honor for his distinguished services to his country. Western Spring Television identifies Obafemi Awolowo as a major character in history.
Up to 75% of human infectious diseases originates in animals. And as more bushmeat is brought into our cities, the risk of human infectious disease outbreaks increases. Ebola, monkeypox, Lassa fever, yellow fever, and even COVID-19 may have been transmitted in this way. Illegal bushmeat trade not only endangers our wildlife, but affects our health and may damage our economy. Please, say no to illegal bushmeat. Keep them wild and keep us safe.
Badamasi Adegoke Adelabu was a prominent figure in Ibadan politics and Western region before Nigeria's independence. He was a key founder of the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons, a political party that held lofty the torch of liberty for the two West African countries. He carved a niche for himself as a wordsmith and a creative speaker, The nickname Benkelemes was a natively corrupted version of Peculiar Mess, his bombastic English language style often used to score proceedings at the parliament. The author of Africa in Evolution, a handbook of freedom for Nigerian nationalists, was Nigeria's Federal Minister of Natural Resources and Social Services between 1955 and 1956. He died in an auto crash on the 25th March 1958 at the age of 42. Western Spring Television identifies Adegoke Adelabu as a watershed character in history.
Well, thank you very much for keeping faith with us on Spring Clinic on Western Spring Television. And today we're talking about the circulatory system, otherwise known as the cardiovascular system. Well, today I've learned a lot. I've learned that my heart has two sides, the left and the right. And before we went on that break, we were talking about the fact that, when you're bleeding, you could, the body begins to, sometimes the body seals the blood from inside or from outside. That's with help though. Doctor, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Did I do the job well? The lecture.
Yes, the summary was good enough.
Thank you.
Okay, we were talking about the sealing.
Yes.
That is when there's a leakage. I'm deliberately using those terminologies for everybody to be able to get it. So, but we'll likely, in medical terms, we say hemorrhage, that is bleeding. The person is bleeding. So, and I mentioned before we went on break that because the circulatory system or the cardiovascular system is central to other systems, when it gets to the brain, whenever there's bleeding, there will be insufficiency in the amount of blood that goes around. So the oxygen will drop. So the brain will not be able to take it very well. So the person has to feel dizzy, then later may lose balance, and then people say he fainted or passed out. Yes, it's correct, because the brain that seems to coordinate nervous activities will not have enough energy, source of energy, which is oxygen, to work. So it starts to shut down. So what happens? Because let me just deviate a little. When somebody has a form of bleeding, the first thing is that ultimately you must get the person to the hospital as fast as possible.